everyone! Today we're going to be doing another 3 looks 1 palette, which you guys know I love me some multiple looks videos, so that's what we're going to be doing. Today I'll be working with a palette, or a brand I should say, that I'm sure a lot of you probably have never heard of unless you saw my first impression on this. And this is from OMFG Cosmetics. Their palette looks like this. I don't know if you can see the little heart on the outside, but it's got a heart on it and it says OMFG. It's really cute, and this is what the palette looks like. This is their Fall Vibes palette. They have now come out with 3 palettes, I want to say. They're a pretty small indie brand. They've just come out with 3 palettes and they have another 3 palettes coming out soon. So this is their second one, and this is the one that I was most drawn to, and I think the colors in this are absolutely beautiful. I love that they have half shimmers, half mattes, and every matte has a shimmer that corresponds with the same color. So I think that is really, really cool, and I can't wait to keep playing with this palette because I had a good time with this the first time around, but I do want to say that I had a little bit of issues with some of the mattes, so I want to see if they still act up a little bit, if you will. So we're gonna just jump straight into this, and I want to do a two-tone look today, and I know I just did that in my Feral palette first impression, but this one is going to be different because I want to use the same colors on both eyes, which I know makes absolutely no sense, but I'm gonna show you guys when we get started. So I'm going to go in on this eye right here with this green matte, and I'm going to just put this from the inner part to the outer part of my crease. Oh, I forgot to say I've already primed my eyes like I always do with my MAC paint pot, and I didn't set this. And you can already see the pigmentation on these shadows are really, really, really nice. And this matte is blending out. Like, I don't even need to blend it, like it's just basically blending itself. So I love that. Did you see how smoothly that went on? This is absolutely beautiful. And next to deepen this up, I'm going to go into this kind of darkish green gray shade. I'm not really sure how to explain this. I guess this is supposed to be the opposite of this shade, which is kind of like a gunmetal gray, maybe, kind of? I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna go into the shade right here, and I'm gonna use that to deepen up my crease in my outer corner with. And this shade is definitely way more powdery than the other mattes that I've tried in this palette so far, so we'll see how this do when I place it down. So on the eye, it definitely looks way more brown than it does in the pan. So I'm going to try not to bring this color up too high because I don't want the green to get lost and get muddy. But I do want to bring in a little bit more depth into this look. Like I said, I'm going to bring it in just a little bit. And I'm also lightly going back in with that first green. I'm just kind of running that on top again to really bring back that color. Now for the other eye, I want to work with the pink and the purple, and just to see how they perform. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to first dip into this pink shade right here. And this shade was the one that I was having some issues with the first time because it was getting kind of patchy and clinging on to a spot on my eyelid. So I'm curious to see if it does the same thing this time, but it doesn't seem like I'm having the same problem. So I feel like maybe I just like didn't prime my eyes as well last time or something, or maybe I had done a look previously and I don't know, I had some residue on my eye or something maybe. So I mean, already you can see this shade is blending out pretty nicely. And this is why I don't like to call my first impressions reviews, because if I had called that one a review, I probably wouldn't have given it a great review just because of that one shade and how that performed on my eye. But now when I'm trying it a second time, I definitely see that maybe the first time was user error. So to deepen up this side, I'm next going to take the purple matte. And I don't know if you guys care about the shade names, but it does have the shade names up here, but like I feel like it's kind of irrelevant what the names are when there's only one purple matte, so I'm just gonna call it a purple matte. And I'm gonna do what I did on the other eye. I'm just gonna use this shade to deepen up the outer corner, and also pulling it into my crease a little bit. I'm also going back in with that pink shade and just gently blending over on top, on the edge where I put down the purple. And so here's what I mean when I said I was going to take the same colors on both eyes, because of what I want to do now is I want to go in with the pinks and the purples on the lid on this eye, and then I want to go in with the greens and the darker green on this eye right here. And then I don't know if I want to do the opposite on the lower lash line because this is getting very confusing already. So what I'm first going to do, I'm going to focus on this eye right here, and I'm first going to dip into the dark purple shade here. And I don't think I'm going to cut my crease because they're all shimmers, so I really don't need to do that. So I'm first going to start by placing this kind of on the outer third of my eye, but I don't want to really cover up all of that dark green. And these are the kind of shimmers that take a little while to build up, and they're also more of like a satin formula, but you can build them up to full opacity if you want to. You just have to be kind of patient. And also I've noticed that it doesn't matter if you spray your brush with this because you'll really get the same result either way, so there's not really a point to doing so. They do have a little bit of fallout though, but it's nothing that you can't just brush away after with a powder brush or something. I've seen some variations of these kind of looks from people that I subscribe to, so I'm not really sure how this is going to turn out, but like, it's just fun to play with makeup. And like, as you can see, I'm wearing a big ass hoodie, and this is from Atlee. This is like her merch line. I really like it, but I'm wearing a hoodie because it's at night, and usually at night it gets really cold in here, so you guys can always tell if I'm filming during the day or at night depending on what I'm wearing. If I'm not wearing like something really big and baggy, I'm probably filming during the day. So I'm next going to take the pink shade right here, and I'm going to put that on the inner half of my eyelid, meeting it up with the purple. Not gonna lie, I'm not having the best time applying the shimmer. This one doesn't seem to be as nice and buildable as the other ones that I've tried. And I don't know if you can see, but I have a ton of fallout on my face. Like, my whole face is basically covered in these shimmers, which is kind of weird because they're not like a crumbly formula at all. So I'm gonna try to spray my brush and see if maybe I was wrong earlier. So it does build, it just takes a little while. I'm gonna actually try to do this with my finger, which I never do. So I never feel like I'm able to be as precise as I want to be, but I mean, it definitely is applying better with your finger, which kind of sucks because I don't like applying with my finger. But yeah, I mean, that definitely made a big difference. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye now, obviously using the opposite shades. So on my outer half, I'm going to use this shimmer down here. And then for the inner part of my lid, I'm going to use this green. This shade is probably the best shimmer that I've tried in this palette so far. This is applying really, really nicely. I'm not going to go in with the green shade. Again, you can tell the pigmentation isn't like kaboom when you first put it down, but you can definitely get it to be very opaque if you just build it up and you're patient with it. I'm sure you could use glitter glue and that would probably work really well, but I don't know. I just don't like having to use glitter glue unless I really, 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 really have to. Now the real question is, what do I do on the lower lash line? Any suggestions? I feel a bit lost right now. So I feel like I might regret this, but we're gonna just go for it anyway. So I'm gonna go in with the greens on the bottom lash line here, and then I'm going to go in with the pink and the purple on this side. So this look is a lot. I can't lie and say otherwise. This is probably one of the most out there looks that I think I've ever done. So I think I want to just keep the lower lash line the way it is. I am going to go in with a fluffy brush and just kind of blend the edges. So it's gonna look a little something like this, and then I think I want to finish off by, maybe I should put something in my waterline first. So I'm gonna use Piggy Bank and Teaspoon by Colourpop. Teaspoon is a green, so I'm gonna use that on this side, and then Piggy Bank is a purple. Wow, I look really cool right now, and I'm gonna use that on this side. And since there are no inner corner highlights in this palette, I'm just going to use the same shades that I have on the inner part of my eyelid and just kind of wrap those around. Alright, now I'm gonna go put on some liner mascara. I'll be right back. So here is the eye look all complete. I really like how this is looking. I think this is so fun. So I was having quite a hard time trying to figure out a lipstick to wear, but I think I've settled on this one by Kat Von D, and this is in the shade Mother, which is one of my probably favorite lipsticks that I own. So this look would probably look a lot better if I wasn't wearing a giant pink hoodie, but you know what? that's what you're getting. So this is going to be the completed look of look number 1. Let me know down below what you think. I think this look is amazing. I love it so much. I don't want to take it off, and I'm really sad I'm going to have to take it off in a little bit. I probably will film another video after this, so, you know, might as well get some views out of it. So let's move into look number 2. For this look, I think I want to keep it kind of simple. I try to make sure that one of these looks in every video is like pretty easy to recreate, so this is probably going to be the easiest one out of the 3, but who knows what the third one is going to end up being. So I want to actually work with some of the browns in this palette because I am going to do a review on this after I'm done, so obviously I want to make sure that I've tried all of the shades. So I'm first going to start off by packing this one all over the lid, and then I'm going to go in with the lighter brown to kind of blend that out. So this is just going to be like a brown smoky eye on top, and then I'm probably going to put something fun in the inner corner and on my lower lash line. And I've already primed my eyes, so let's go ahead and see how these mattes do when packed all over. I did not set my primer, so this is beautiful. This is more of a dark orange. I really like that shade actually. So I'm just packing this on, and I'm not pulling the shade up too high because I am going to go in, like I said earlier, with the lighter shade and just blend this out. And this is packing on so beautifully. I really like the matte formula in this palette. I mean, that was so easy. Alright, so let's go ahead and start blending this out. I'm going to dip into the lighter of the brown shades, and I guess this one is going to actually be brown and not orange. So I'm going to use a new brush that I got at Morphe yesterday. This is an E17. And I'm just taking the shade, and again, I am going to kind of pack this on over top where I put down the orange. But I'm being a little bit more light-handed with this, but not so much that I don't get any pigment down. So I think this blend is looking pretty nice. Now I did leave a little bit of space open here because I am going to go in with probably the green. I haven't decided yet, but I'm definitely going to put something popping in the inner corner, so I'm making sure to leave a little bit of room for that. I'm just going to dip back into the darkest of the shades, and I'm going to just go over my lid again and just make sure that it's as intense as I want it, and also just going to bring this color up a little bit more. So for my lower lash line, I'm first going to go in with this dark shade, and I'm taking this on a very small angled brush, and I'm going to put this closest to my lower lash line. And I'm going to use this green shade to blend this out with. And this is an E36 brush that I got from Morphe yesterday, and I really like the new brushes that I picked up from them actually. I feel like they've gotten a lot of new ones lately that I did not know existed. And I love these little small fluffy brushes. They're my absolute favorite. And I'm kind of gonna like wing this up a little bit. And I'm also going to kind of pull it down a little bit here on the outside. I don't know why, I just feel like doing it. So I'm going to pull this down a bit lower. So you know how when you start something, sometimes it doesn't end out the way you planned it, but you just kind of have to go with it. So my brush just wanted to make a giant wing with a shadow for some reason, so that's what we're doing. So I think that's going to be it for... Nope, never mind. I need some inner corner highlight, that's what I need. And for that, I'll be using the shimmery green shade that I used in the previous look. And I'm also going to put a little bit of Teaspoon by Colourpop in my waterline. And I feel like I lost a bit of that darkest brown that I put on my lower lash line, so I'm going to go back in with that and just kind of intensify this. And maybe I'll just use this shadow to create a wing with instead of a liquid liner. Let's try that. I'm also going to kind of bring it onto my lid a little bit. You're ever in the middle of your makeup and you're like, how did I end up here? Because that's how I feel right now. Like, this was not the plan at all, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, and I don't know if I want to do a liner on top of my eye or if I just want to do mascara, because this is kind of dramatic. So I think I am going to go in with my liquid liner, but I'm not going to make a wing with this. I'm just going to trace my upper lash line because my lower lash line is so dramatic right now that I need something to kind of balance it out. And I don't think I necessarily like that green in my waterline when I have the brown there. I kind of forgot that I did that at first, so I'm going to go back in with a black pencil and I'm going to just put that over where I put the green in my waterline. And I feel like this is looking so much better already. I'm just going to take a small brush. This is a Morphe M149, and I'm just going to run that in between the brown and the black liner to kind of just blend these out a little bit so that the liner doesn't look so harsh. I'm also going to curl my lashes and put on some mascara. For my lipstick, I need to do orange, but I'm not going to use my pumpkin pie. I'm going to step away from the pumpkin pie, and I'm going to use Nicole, also by Jeffree Star. And I'm sorry if you can hear the shower in the background. My husband decided to take a shower even though he knew I was filming, so that's great. Alright, so here is look number 2 complete. I feel like it kind of came together in the end after I put on some liner and mascara and stuff, but I wasn't sure where I was going with this in the beginning, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, so I think we should just get into look number 3. Alright, so I'm sure as you can see it's still the same day, it's a little bit later, and I want to do my last look because I am getting my hair done tomorrow and I kind of want all these looks to, you know, have me looking the same, so I don't know if that's stupid or not, but that's just my brain thinking. So for this next look, I want to do something a bit different that I, again, haven't done on my channel before, haven't ever done before, because that's how my brain works. So I've already primed my eyes, so I'm going to actually set this by using a nude colored eyeshadow because I think I want this to be an all shimmer look and see if I can really get these shimmers to pop. So I'll be completely honest and say I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm going to start off by taking the lightest of the shimmery shades, which is a kind of like an orangey shade. So I'm going to put this basically all over my lid, and then I want to just like kind of layer the other ones on top in like random spots and kind of make it look like art. And I don't want this look to be like very precise or anything like that, so I'm basically going to just add a thin layer of this all over my lid and also all the way up onto my brow bone. So as you can see, this color is not going on super opaque. Now, I obviously know I haven't sprayed my brush or anything, but this is just how the shimmers in this palette perform, and I feel like it's not fair to compare this formula to like other formulas because this is just like, this is what they wanted this formula to be like, it seems like. So I'm just kind of coating my whole eyelid as well as my crease and my brow bone with this shade. And this look really doesn't have any rhyme or reason, and sometimes I like to just slap things onto my eyes. I'm sure you've seen me do this before if you've been on my channel before. But I guess that's more of the artistic side of me kind of coming out. And I really feel like I'm in a playful mood today for whatever reason. Alright, let's see. This is where the fun begins, and this is where I could really mess up. So I don't know where I'm really going with this, but let's just start with... I don't think I want to use this darkest one because I don't really feel like that's going to go with the look. So I'm going to start off by taking the shimmery purple shade on my Morphe E36. I'm just kind of going to plop this down. I'm going to make a couple of spots like this. Again, doesn't really have to have like a rhyme or reason for why you're doing it. You're just kind of painting, you know? Pretend like you're painting an abstract painting on your eyes. And it also shouldn't be symmetrical because art probably wouldn't be. So next I want to go into, let's do some green and see how that goes. Now this look could end up being absolutely terrible by the end of this, but you know what? You won't know until you try, and sometimes shit comes out really cool, sometimes it doesn't. Again, just kind of plop this color in wherever you feel like it might fit, which really would be anywhere. So I think I also want to go in with the pink, so I'm gonna dip into the pink right here. Just do the same thing. And it's okay if you go over what you've already done, it really doesn't matter. Like I said, this is just supposed to be art. Like I said, it doesn't have to be symmetrical, shouldn't be symmetrical, what's the fun in that? So I think I kind of want to go onto my lower lash line as well and kind of just put some shadow down there as well. I'm not going to go in with that first shade that I put down. I'm just going to make some splotches of green, then go in with the purple, and kind of just like make sure that they mix on the outer corner here and make a little bit of a shape. And I'm just taking the pink here. Again, just don't overthink it, just go in with whatever you feel like. Back in with the green. So this is obviously a very soft, like kind of pastel-y looking look, but I kind of like it. So I think I'm going to just leave it like this, maybe go in with a tiny bit more of the purple. Just get a little bit more of that in here. And then a bit more of the pink. And I think we're just going to call this artwork done. And to really make this pop, I'm going to use some white in my waterline, and this one is just a retractable liner from NYX. So because this look is very toned down, I am going to do a wing today, and I'm also going to put on quite a bit of mascara, so I will do that and I'll be right back, and then we can put on a popping lipstick. Okay, so I tried to do some really big wings. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't think I'll ever be able to figure out a way and angles to make really nice big wings on hooded eyes, but I tried and I'm like decently happy with it. So I do want to go in with an inner corner highlight, and since I don't really have that in my palette, I'm going to use my highlighting palette, and I'm just going to go in with this white shade up here and just pop that right in here. So for lips, I want to use something kind of bright, and I want to use Watermelon Soda by Jeffree Star, because you guys know I love Jeffree Star's liquid lipsticks. And I love the shade so much. This was from his summer collection. Alright, so here is the completed look number 3. I kind of like this. I think the eye look is very different and kind of cool and kind of artistic, and I'm digging it. So I guess I will give you guys a little review on this palette now, because I have tried all the shades and I feel like I've made up my mind on my opinions on this palette. So let's start off with the matte. So I really like the matte formula in this. I did have a bit of a bad first impression because they did seem a little bit patchy, at least some of them, but after having used them now for 5 looks, I want to say, I've used it once off camera and I really had no issues. Even packing them all over my lid, they worked beautifully. They really blend nicely. I like the pigmentation in them. Got no complaints about the mattes in this palette. I like the color story in it. I think they go really nicely together. Now the shimmers, I wouldn't say I have a problem with them, but they're just not the kind of formula that I prefer in a shimmer. I do wish that they were a little bit more in your face. I do like my shimmers to really pop, and I really like when I'm able to decide if I want it to pop by spraying them and have them be more intensified, but these don't really do that. That would be really the only things I have to say about this palette. Overall, the color story, I absolutely love it. I wish more companies would make color stories like this, because I would buy them all. I think having half shimmers and half mattes in the palette, especially this size, is a great ratio, especially when you have mattes that have corresponding shimmers, and the idea of that just makes me so happy. So I guess that's really all I have to say about this palette. I would absolutely recommend it if it's something that speaks to you. If you like it, if you don't mind shimmers that aren't super metallic and foil, I think you would really like this. It's very easy to work with. I think the packaging is great. It also does have the shade names up here if that's something that's important to you. Now personally, I don't really care, especially in a palette like that where it's very easy for me to just tell you which color I'm using. So they do have the shade names on it, which I think is great. The packaging is very nice and sleek. I like that about it. It's got a magnetic closure. I think these pants are also magnetic. They definitely look like they are, which would be great if you have several of the palettes and you can kind of put them in together where you want them to be. So yeah, overall, I mean, the only really drawdown for me is that the metallic shimmers aren't the way that I would like them to be. So for that reason, I'm going to give this palette like a 7 out of 10. I do really like it, like I said. That's the only thing that I really would change about it, but I feel like the fact that the shimmers are just not that great makes the palette not as appealing to me. So, I mean, I do really like the color story and everything about this palette, so please don't think that me giving this a 7 is like a bad rating, but it's not going to be a kind of palette that I'm going to pull out for the shimmers. I'm mostly going to pull it out for the mattes. So I would say that if you are interested in any of the releases by OMFG Cosmetics, I would say go for it. If this is something that you feel like you would like, otherwise maybe skip out on it. I don't know, it's gonna be up to you to decide if this is the kind of formula that you are going to like. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and hopefully I will see you all in my next video. Bye!